And also, we also get the lowest paying jobs, We barely, scrape by enough money just to get by. So that perpetual hatred has never left these so-called white people, man. Okay? It's never left. So because thou, you Edomites, which are you so-called white people, has had a perpetual hatred, and then, look at the amount of hate that Jake get on the comment boards on some of these YouTube videos, man. They're still calling us, niggers and, spics and yard apes and spooks, jigaboos and all kind of racist things, man. Wetbacks. It all goes back to the perpetual hatred. Because thou has had a perpetual hatred and has shed the blood of the children of Israel, which are the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians, by what? By the force of the sword. The common modern day sword today is the gun. In the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. In the time that their iniquity had an end. Okay? Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashum, Yahweh Shai, the power of Israel, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Okay? So you know what that's talking about? Because you have shed the blood of the nation of Israel. Because you so-called white people have shed the blood of the nation of Israel, your blood is going to be shed. Wait a minute, though. That was during the time of slavery. Our forefathers did that. We didn't do that. That is not our fault. Come on, man. You can't put that on us, man. That's not our fault. Our great ancestors did that. Isaiah chapter 14, verse 21. Prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers. For the iniquity of who? For their fathers. You know why? Because you are your forefathers in the reincarnation. You so-called white people walking around on this planet today, you were them same people back then during the time of slavery, torturing us, beating us, raping our kids, our women, raping our grown brothers, raping our fathers right in front of us. You're doing all kind of sick acts upon us, man. You were them same people back then. You're alive today, man. You just don't know it. Okay, so Yahweh Ba'ashum, Yahweh Shai is getting ready to prepare slaughter for you so-called white people for what you did to us during the time of slavery. That they do not rise nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. This is the book of Numbers, chapter 35, verse 33. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are. Why? For blood it defileth the land. How do blood defile the land? This land is defiled with the blood of Israelites, okay? No matter where you walk, no matter where you go, the blood of our ancestors have been shed, okay? You can't even have a peaceful day at the park, man, because wherever you're sitting or eating, you're sitting and eating on top of the dead bones of your ancestors who were brutally slaughtered during the time of slavery or when the conquistadors and Spaniards came over here. Okay, unrighteous dealings. So you can better understand. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land. And even to this very day, the blood of Israelites, which are the Israelites, which are the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians, even to this very day, our blood is still being shed on this land. Okay? And the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by who? But by the blood of him that shed it. Okay? So the only way this land can be cleansed is by the blood of him that shed it. So guess what? The blood of you Edomites, which are you so-called white people, the biblical Edomites, your blood is going to be shed. Back in Ezekiel, chapter 35, verse 6. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, the power of Israel, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Okay? Sith thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Okay? And guess what? We're not going to be the only nation shedding the blood of you Edomites in the kingdom. Okay? We're going to have taskmasters. Okay? And guess what? We're going to have them putting their foot in you Edomites' asses in the kingdom of heaven too. Okay? So even blood shall pursue thee. And guess what? In the kingdom of heaven, the Israelites, which are the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians, okay, starting with Yahweh Shai and the elect, we're going to have spiritual power. So we're going to be killing you Edomites in ways that you'll never be able to kill us on this side. Okay? We're going to be taking you out into outer space. You're throwing y'all into the sun and shit. Okay? We're going to see what the effects of a so-called vacuum can do in space when we take y'all out there without spacesuits. Because guess what? We're going to be able to go up there into the heavens without a spacesuit. Because we're going to have extraterrestrial bodies. So our bodies is going to be able to handle, whatever is out there amongst the heavens. But your body is not going to be able to handle it. So you're going to be going through extreme pain. And guess what? Your spirit is not going to be able to leave your body unless we will it. So we're going to have so much fun killing you Edomites in the kingdom of heaven. Okay? And guess what? It's going to be Edomite children, Edomite babies, Edomite teenagers, Edomite grown-ups, and Edomite old people being killed in the kingdom of heaven. And the biblical Edomites are your so-called white people. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword, and the time of their calamity, and the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, the power of Israel, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Even, okay, sith thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 25. Verse 12. Thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, the power of Israel, behold, because that Edom have dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance. And again, okay, how did you so-called white people take vengeance against the house of Judah? And remember, because back in the ancient world, when we were living in the Roman Empire, Israelites who lived in Judea, which Judea is the Greek way of saying Judah. Anybody who was an Israelite who lived in Judea would have been known as someone who came from Judah. Okay, I'm gonna use Paul as an example because, he came from Judea. Okay, even though he was a Benjaminite. So in the spiritual sense, when you see Judah here, it's really, in a spiritual sense, it's talking about the so-called blacks, Jamaicans, and Haitians. Okay. Which so-called black people come from the tribe of Judah, Jamaicans come from the tribe of Benjamin, and Haitians come from the tribe of Levi. Because the first three tribes were the only ones living in Jerusalem during the time of the Roman Empire. So Esau had, during the time of slavery, right? During the time of slavery, right? Esau was, especially during the transatlantic slave trade, Esau was killing Benjamin, he was killing Judah, and he was also killing Levi, man. So he took vengeance upon Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, especially during the transatlantic slave trade, when they, you know, they was killing us on those slave ships. They had something called dance, and dance was when they would take a whip and they would crack it at the slaves' feet and make them dance, literally. You know, in some cases, some slaves were literally shot in their foot just to make them dance. You see? Okay, and then again, you know, when Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, you know, when they came over here to the Americas on the slave ships, man, Esau really got busy on us, man. Okay, so because that Edom, the so-called white people, have dealt against the house of Judah, okay, in the spiritual sense, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, by taking vengeance, and have greatly offended and revenged himself upon them.